Hey, YouTubers, it's your boy Domination. This is back at the basics. Y'all gonna do since I would do text baby man. I does back. You know what it is, know what it is, know what it is. The only place, all the 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 place, go get it. All the place, go get it. Is right back at basics. Y'all gonna do since I would do text baby man. I does back. You know what it is, know what it is, know what it is, know what it is. Real man rise up, fake man rise down. Real woman rise up, fake woman rise down. Practice the word preach and preach on. And today's topic I want to talk about is I really want to talk about this. Yes, it's once again those kind of topics. I'm done with slavery. I mean racism, but this is a bigger something different. I want to talk about this so-called slavery stuff, man. For those who don't know that, but you know what? I can't get mad at some of the folks how we've been taught, how people been taught, that how white people been taught. You got a lot of them been conditioned to think that I'm superior, I'm tall, I'm slender, I'm Aryan. All that stuff is bullshit. It's all bullshit. Everything they've been taught is it just I had to laugh because it's funny. Because if you look at the definition of the word Aryan, Aryan is just another word for Arial or a novel. Mean writing books. And who the people you think they're talking about? Black community. If it's not that, they probably mixed with European influence. Let's be honest, man. And yet it mixed with the damn Mongols. But for some odd reason, man, I hate these kind of damn movies. My mother right now is watching White Water. All White Water is basically thing that they're saying that black people can't fuck can't what they're trying to say that black people are afraid of water. They ain't that everybody's afraid of water, or they can't drink the same water with white brothers and sisters. It's really pathetic. I mean, I understand how it is at that damn time, and a lot of that the problem came from the damn government. See, it's these damn governments. It's these people know why there's so much goddamn racism. It was started 1,000, 2,000 years ago that they claimed that the first original race of men, race of women that ever walked this place in a modern earth. Now, we don't know who race they're talking about. But there's this two theories on this. One theory, they say that the black people are the Homo sapiens. I don't know how true that is. And then other people say that and another people say that whites were the Neanderthals. So that explains where all these racial and narrative tension is going on. And then they trying to say that the Caucasian and Asians mixed with the Neanderthal and the DNA, but they trying to say an African with no 2% of the Neanderthal DNA, trying to say that the Neanderthals they never been landed in from Africa. That's a damn lie. That's a lie, because if that was the case, then they trying to say that black people was invaded by monkeys, trying to say the modern men having sex with a damn monkey, and they create a race of life beings of breathing of human and human breathing. Basically, they breathe like dogs. They unbreathing like rabbits. I know what they're trying to say. See, Europeans, man, I don't hate them, but a lot of times they need to start telling the truth, because a lot of times they full of shit at times. Because they say one thing, they say the other. But you know what? Our dumbass, we believe what they're telling us. And we actually believe it. We think that, oh, they're pure and they're we're colored. And that Martin Luther King came to the term color because basically the people who are not white. But white is pure. You see what I'm talking about? Here it is. Let's go to definition, shall we? Let's go to definition. Let's go definition of these words, because a lot of times when you hear words like this, you really don't know what these words coming from. Let's go to definition of these they come from. Let's go to first Caucasian first. Let's go to Caucasian, because when you hear that word Caucasian, You ever wonder what that term came from? Let's go to the Caucasian, or carcass, they say. Caucasian the Caucasian race is also Caucasoid or Europeanoid, or have in historically been using to describe to the physical or biological type of some or all of the the population of Europe, North Africa, the Horn of the Horn of Africa, and West Asia, and is Central Asia and South Asia. The term is used biological and aptly rhododendrology for many of from those regions without rather necessarily to skin tone. It said it right here. It could be without, anybody could be Caucasian without this skin tone. And this guy right here named Ottoman Fuman Boff, whatever this fucking name is, and this guy named Christopher Menti, and they wrote the book, that outline of history of mankind. See, that term Caucasian, it come from this man right here, German professor of medicine and members of the British Royal Society. He declared what this race they founded, saying that they produce a beautiful race of men. The term Caucasian derived from the southern Caucasus region, or what is now is the country of Armenian, Kazakhstan, and Georgian. But he declared these the people of this region become the appetite for the group. This is what he claimed, and found the skull of Georgian, saying that they got the most beautiful glossy skin. Excuse me. This is what he came up with this term, and he need his ass whooped because he trying to break everybody in group. But a lot of people believe that stuff. Yeah, I think so. A lot of people believe that. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, a lot of people believe that. If you look at the definition of the term Caucasian, it will tell you anybody can be Caucasian without necessarily skin tone. So it could be anyone, and it just says what's the region of the certain of the Caucasus. Let's go to Southern Caucasus. You see that Southern Caucasus between Europe and Asia? The Caucasus region of the western or southwestern Russia into the North Africa in mid Turkey, in modern Turkey, and the highest period of Armenian, and from the Black Sea in the western to the Kerch Sea as the coast Iran in the east, and areas included in the south part of the great the great mountains. This is what it says, and it says Caucasoid. This is a tribe of the North Caucasus. People need to look this stuff up, man, because before they're gonna talk about Caucasians, they need to look this stuff up. This is what it says. He claimed, but also he said this. In the early racial prototype, Mendeley put for the fourth that the Caucasus have the white, most blooming and most delicate skin. Caucasian with darker skin, he preferred dirty whites mixed with Mongols, and viewed entirely of the early scientific attempts as the racial declassification where the skin pigment was regarded as the main differences between races, and the view was shared by the French novelist as Joseph Vivi, who believed that the Caucasus are the only only more pale skinned Europeans. You see where this going. This is more fucked up as it is. So they broke all these Caucasian race in three different groups: the Aryan, Hamitic, and Shamitic. They broke them in three groups, and this is what racist groups they broke. And here it is: Mediterranean, Abi, and Norbit, and Paul, and Debody, and Turtaby, and Armenian Lord, and Iron Lord, and Raven Lord, and Hamwood. See, they broke all these groups. Look at this. Look at all these racist groups. Look at all this. Because Aryan come from India, but yet is come from, but there's two different versions of it. One was the cargo island, and the other one is Iran, and another one they said that in India. See, it's so fucked up and confused, just like this term African American. And look at the Mongol race. Look at this. Whites had three race, what to classify them and their race. Blacks had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 races will classify what's us or our people. And Asian had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 races. 10 of them. See, they know this guy right here. He know exactly what he's doing. He broke everybody in 5 different races, 5 different groups. I'm telling you, all racism is a color system. That's all it is. It's based on you to treat it in society. That's all it is. But our government is the ones who classify what is the race and what define have a race certain features, what race that you have. See, people need to look this up, just like this term African American. African American as preferred, African American also referred to as Black Americans or Afro American is a ethnicity group of the citizen or the residents of the United States with a total or part of it ancestry from as many of the native population of Sub-Saharan African. The term may also been used instead the only individual who are descendants from African slaves. You see what they doing? They say every black person has been slave, but Europeans never been slave. You see that? That's bullshit. That's bullshit right there, and they know it. As the compound as ejected, as the term is usually as a hybrid as African American. African American is the subclassification, the largest, the second largest racial and ethnicity minority in the United States. Most African Americans are of Western. Most African Americans are West and Central African descent and are descendant of enslaved blacks within in the boundaries of the president of the United States. However, and immigrants from African, Caribbean, and Central America and South America, in the nations, and the descendants may or may not also self-identify with the term. You see what they're trying to say? What they're trying to say that blacks sold blacks. What they're basically saying, if you're African, Africans sold other Africans, right along with the European continent. That's what they're saying. That's what the fuck they're saying right here. If you're European American, they're saying Caucasian mixed with Mongols, but racially the clean whites they prefer to them is dirty white. You see what they're doing? They broke everybody's numbers. Here's these people from African American: Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman, Booker T. Washington, W. Du Bois, Rosa Parks, Malcolm X, and Martin Luther King, and all the rest of these people. I don't want to say the rest because you know the rest. But it says right here in the three certain languages: American English, African American English, and Louisiana Creole French Gala. So it's one, two, three, four different language. Some are Roman Catholic, Muslims, but notice it didn't say Christian or Baptist. It maybe they think the same thing. But like I said before, see, black Spanish or Latino Americans, Afro American people of America, and black Canadians, and I forgot what they made the diamonds at. Senator New York, Creole people, and Americo Libertals, or whatever you want to call it, and foreigner born and Afro American and Afro Latin American. You see with all these race and ethnicity and stuff like that. What some I don't get. Let's go to white Americans. Because notice they didn't have mixed with black. Notice that. See, and it's still an issue. You got to ask yourself. See, my folks been conditioned when we think that in our mind we don't know shit about European unless we look at the history. You got whites don't know nothing about the history of blacks until they look at the history. Here it says white Americans. White Americans are the people of the United States who the classify or classify themselves as white. As the United States Caucus Bureau and define white people as those having origin as many of the original people of Europe and Middle East or North African included the people who is the dedication of their race as white are reported as the enter as much as Irish, German, Italian, and that whatever whatever you want to call them, Arab and Morgago, or Caucasian, as so much as a larger group that than European American. Unlike of all officers of USA racial generalizing, whites have not a Spanish or Latino and a high Hispanic or Latino, a compound, and then later as the classification and some classification mostly of white Mexican American and white Cuban Americans. The term Caucasian is awfully used as intercharging with white and through also through the term is or not as a symphony. You notice it didn't say no mix with black. You notice that don't mix with African. Look at this. See, this is still an issue in the United States. See, they can mix with Latino because Latino if you look at Spain, it's close to Europeans. It's close to that. See, they still believe that black is a curse of Ham. They still believe that. Well, I got news for you. It was Noah was the one molesting Canaan. It wasn't Ham. You know, and Cain, they claim that Cain got killed Cain killed Abel, so they trying to say Abel was a white farmer and Cain was a black hunter. I don't know how true that is, but see, this is where all this so-called racism started messing the problem. But look at this: whites included in higher expanded who identify as white, as compensated in the majority, with the total or about 245 or 532 and thousand zeros, or 77% 7% of the population as in 2013. Non-Hispanic and whites as the total about 1,097, 8,016, and 0,000, or 62% or 6% of the U.S. population. You see that? There's no mix of black or none. They call all each other or different ethnicities. You see this at Europeans, Middle East American, white Latin Americans, and white Canadian, white Australians, and European as this category from parts of the world. You see that? See, this is still an issue in the United States. See, I'm superior mindset, but guess where that comes from? That comes from the flow of government elite people, what they classify what a European looks like. Because most Europeans is red dish or pale. If you're not red dish and pale, then you're not a white person. Same thing they focus on. You got to be darker. But this one drop rule shit that people talk about. Guess what one drop rule was about? To keep the white race pure and keep the black race to feel like they still gonna be identified as black, even if they mix with all these other colors. Because some of the blacks believe that black is the most dominant. Yeah, it's a certain black feature. There was this white guy who looked 100% white, but he really is an African American, even though the Jamaica. You see where I'm trying to get at? And you got black people who don't even, and you got white people who don't even look like they're black, but they look like they're white. And you got blacks who look like they're black, but they really are white. Let's say like John B, for instance. You would think he Middle East or damn something else. See, this is something that needs to start talking about, because this whole racism shit that people say and people buy the stuff what they believe. See, I'm gonna tell you, this is the mindset of the slave and the slave master. See, that it proves my point that black men and white men, they think alike. The problem is black men want power from the black men want the power from the white man, and white men want the respect from the black man. You see where I'm getting at? For years, people been saying they put out why they put out these movies, and white people are the Chapet. They in the damn Bible, every last one of them. They call them Esau or Edomites, whatever you want to call them, or they got so many names. Black people are the tribe of Ham, not the curse of Ham, but Ham, bless of Ham. For some reason, they need to clear this stuff up, because I'm sick and tired of seeing these damn slave movies. And yet we've been conditioned to think that white people are our masters, and we're their public property for them. Fuck that shit. I ain't gotta listen to what Europeans say. I listen to what my heart is saying. They ain't got they ain't got to do we ain't got a kid we ain't got an answer for that. We got to answer to ourselves. But see, this is the mindset some people brought up in the berets to believe that. But yet, if black is not pure, they ain't pure either. Come on now. What do you think Dirty Whites is mixed with Negroid? They will never tell you. They will never tell you. But you would think my folks would get this, because slavery was started in the 1600s. But yet, you got to go back to the 1500s, the 1400s, the 1200s, and 1100s. You got to go back to the era when they claim that black don't exist as back then. That's what they usually say. Because the black people was baited by monkeys. What you think they baited by monkeys too? Because I mean, I don't get this. Whites don't want to admit they interbred out of black folk. They will never tell you. Because let me get this straight. You mean to tell me a white person would bring out a black person? I want to see that. Now, maybe so, unless they got some African ancestry somewhere. I always hear black people claim Europeans and their ancestry, but I never hear Europeans claim the Africans. And that explains why they adopt kids and why they tanning their skin. And that explains why blacks trying to bleach their skin, trying to blend in, being a part of the Europeans. And Europeans trying to close to trying to be brown, trying to be black. The people they couldn't hate, they couldn't stand. For some reason, that explains a lot between this slavery and master. All slavery is nothing but slobbing people. That's all it is. The first original slaves were Europeans. And master, that comes from the Europeans. Like I said, we adopted European tradition these dominate these European terms, what they call what means being black, what means to be a European. So for some reason, every black person ain't pitch black. Every white person ain't pale and red dish. Because if that's the case, blacks wouldn't stay in the sun so long. They start coming to peel and start becoming a black person, turn into a white person, and that explained that white people wouldn't be standing the cold so much. They went from tanning it out, went from a white person to a black person. Give me a fucking break for that shit. White people and blacks know this, but instead, when we call ourselves African Americans, we're basically saying we're conquered Americans. We're conquered people. Like the term Europe come from a Greek woman that's sitting on Taurus bull. You can look this stuff up. What do you think the real original whore of Babylon is? His own woman. And you know what? But I get why the mindset. If you've been conditioned a group of people that they think they're slaves, they're gonna think that. I ain't no fucking slave, and I damn sure ain't no spec to be bathing my master, whatever you want to call it. Fuck that shit. I get really get pissed off when they put out shows like White Water, basically saying that blacks are afraid of water. They can't dive in the water. They can't swim like Europeans because they have breathing privation. They can swim it under the fucking water. I know what they're trying to say. I listen to Europeans very well and look at their culture and why they think the way they feel. The term N word, they try to say we're a dead race. Basically, we're stupid. I know what they're trying to say. Same thing the word cracker, trying to say whites, they ain't never been slaves. They own slaves. They own us. Bullshit. They were slaves too. But for some reason, you won't hear about it. And I can't believe that the Ku Klux Klan was all the way from Switzerland. You would think that the Ku Klux Klan come from South Carolina. And the North Carolina New Burnter, that's the original burning cross. And guess what? I read the history what the cross came from. It goes from all the Scotland folklore myth about the firmament cross that they claim where the burning cross they always do. And if you put two different broke path or broke cross of the cross of rain, and where Martin Luther King died, right on Ray Montel. The upward cross, that's in heaven, and downward cross, that's the hell cross. So that explains why they use these damn terms. And I'm saying, my people, educate yourself and understand why you're being hated. Why you think they call black people color and they call white people is white or pure or whatever? No, they need to have pure heart. Start telling the truth. I ain't no fucking slave of theirs, and they ain't damn sure ain't my masters. I owe myself. I don't blame white people for anything, regardless what their ancestors do, because I'm not anti-white. I'm anti-hypocrisy. Because when you say and talk against white, you gotta really understand the culture, why they think the way they think. Because you don't want to be anti-white. Like, oh, the white's gonna feel ashamed of being white for what their ancestors did. Well, it's too late. So be proud of being white, just like black person need to be proud of being black. But stop trying to buy this racial narrative mindset, thinking that you're a slave and he your master. Whites need to get off of that shit because they're not pure like everybody think they is. They always talking about they're afraid. The special claiming they get me sick. They claim that they're afraid that whites become the minority. It's always been a white minority. There's white majority. There are black minorities. There's black majorities. Oh, okay. They need to get off the book. They need to get off the beyond bullshit. For them to think like that, they don't worry about no other group than blacks. But then again, you don't hear none from these people. You don't hear you won't hear a fucking peep word out of them. Same thing to Black Panthers and the Nation of Islam. They're a joke. You got the Nation of Islam claim that black people is from the people of the Chabaz. Remember that movie Kazam? And once you say Kazam, Shabash, and Shazam, it does sound like the same meaning. Because they still believe that black people are the people of the, the people of that tribe. See, they got the same mindset as Hitler. Why you think they call Obama Hitler? Because Obama got some German in his blood. Because they believe that Germans are the part of descendants from the superior super race come from Sweden with this tall, blonde, and slender. They really manipulate Europeans. They really did. I gotta give it to them. They really manipulate out of fucking black folks, especially NAACP. They're a joke. I feel sorry for what happened to them dropping bombs, but NAACP needs to start telling the truth where all this shit and where all this stuff coming from. The Book of Negroes, trying to say that blacks can't read. You want to know why blacks can't read? Because they ain't shown, they ain't taught them. And that's a school district fault. They and the parents ain't shown. That's everybody in jail. Because ain't nobody gonna play no soccer game to me. See, they manipulate not only Europeans, they manipulate black folk. And a lot of them buy into this. Y'all better wake the fuck up and understand they don't give a fuck about neither one of y'all. You got the whites and blacks working together side by side. Like I say, look at them. They buying the shit what we taught them. Yeah, and still to this day, no, they need to be held accountable. I'm sorry. You got black women being conditioned thinking that their man is their enemy. Maybe so, but you don't say that shit to other men. You won't say a fucking word. You won't say shit. You got black men do the same damn thing. They'll talk about other races of women, but he won't say nothing of the other race of women. He talk about any women, but he won't say none of the race of women. He'll talk about his own women before he talk about other races of women. And white guys think like that too. They'll do some shit for their women, but yet they get mad when somebody trying to get close to them. And black men do the same damn thing, and white women do the same thing. They big condition thing. They just pure me, or they're being beautiful and all that. I mean, it's really laughing. I ain't gonna lie to you. They did a good job manipulate people with a race. That's why I can't stand 12 years of slavery. The butler, all that shit is bullshit. They want to see a goddamn race war. And I'm gonna say, people, don't fall for this stuff. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. When I saw that movie called Superiority, whatever, white supremacy, because blacks always use that. They always talk about white supremacy. Yet they don't know what white fucking supremacy is. Have they ever been to Europe? Because if they did, they would have go there. It's just like whites ain't never been to Africa. How the fuck they know about Africa and they never even done it? They have black people who are wealthy Africans. Come on now. Everything been stole from the European. Name one thing blacks ever stole from Europeans. Name one. I swear, I couldn't believe that shit. And guess what I found out? The term Sanama is they talking about the Queen of Sheba. Sheba from Ethiopia, the married King Solomon. The name is protected by God by Solomon. So that explains every goddamn thing. See, who the fuck they're fooling with? They ain't fooling me. They need to start telling the damn truth how this slavery really got started. But you know how it started? It got started by these group of people that belongs in the ancient mystery Arca school. It's these people, man. Need to wake the fuck up. They don't give a damn about you. Whites need to wake up too. But they need to understand they being manipulated. You got blacks buying the same damn thing. That's why black men always seen as being coward, being bitchified, punk, scared. I ain't scared of nothing. And look at this. This is the image. But yet white guys can be freaked out and fucked out and fucking scared and shit. But yet they've been seen as being bravery, being ornament. But it will never be the same way as brother. It just won't. If you think I'm lying, you need to look at these movies and ask yourself why they always portray that white is superior and black is inferior. Now, ever since Obama got office, now they make it seem like black people are superior and white is inferior. They need to get off of that, man. They really do. I'm gonna tell you something is all racism is. I said it before. It's all propaganda. It's all making property, making money. But the real slaving is the slaving of the mind, and they can get off of slaving without the plantation slave off the mind. And that's all I gotta say. And I'm out. And I'm done with this. And it's your boy Domination. This is Back of the Basic Chuck of the Deuces. I would do text, baby. Until next time. All right. Peace, and I'm out.